Perhaps our discussion on when light appeared in the previous lesson gives us some insight into exactly when this newly shaped sphere we call Earth began to rotate. If the eventual normal process for initiating day and night, light and dark, is the rotation of the Earth, then the Earth probably began to rotate on day number 1. Genesis 1:6, then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." I need to introduce you to a new word perhaps, firmament. It's a synonym for sky. And then the full definition, the vault or arch of the sky. The Bible uses the word firmament instead of expanse. The original Hebrew word, R-I-W-X, means an expanse or the visible arch of the sky. On day number 1, God separated light from dark. And here on day number 2, we find that he separates the waters of the earth from the waters of the heavens. What happened on day 2 was that God created a space for life in the midst of the waters. On day 3, he will separate the waters from the dry land. Genesis 1:7, God made the expanse and separated the waters which were below the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse. And it was so. God called the expanse heaven. If I take God at his word, on day number 2, he separated the waters. He lifted some of the water upwards to create what the writer calls heaven. This is not the heaven we long to go to after death. This is the sky above, the space where birds fly, and it extends upward to where the sun, moon, and stars will be. From this we may infer that immediately after its formation, the firmament occupied of its own accord the place appointed for it by the will of God, which is the sight of the heavens as we know it. Thus, as soon as the firmament was established in the midst of the layer of water, it began to rise, arching like a vault. A lot has been said about how this water canopy may have shielded the earth and its inhabitants from the ultraviolet rays of the sun and allowed the people to live longer and some creatures to grow larger. I suppose that it's possible, but we just don't know. Others have said that this water canopy was released in Noah's day to cause the Great Flood. Again, maybe, but there's no way to know for sure. The "and it was so" phrase in verses 7, 9, 11, 15, 24, and 30 also points to something God wants us to acknowledge. The biblical account of creation is a matter of fact in our history. Did your mother ever say to you, "Because I said so"? That was intended to answer all arguments you may raise. Things are as they are, because God said so. Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." God made the expanse and separated the waters which were below the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse, and it was so. Then God said, "Let the waters beneath the sky flow together into one place, so dry ground may appear." And that is what happened. God called the dry ground land and the waters seas. And God saw that it was good. Genesis 1:9 is by far the best text to support a view of the initial creation being one large intact landmass. A plain reading of the text, "Let the waters flow into one place," can hardly be anything but a description of one intact landmass. Points to ponder. The earth probably began to rotate on day number 1. God separated the waters of the earth from the waters of the heavens. The biblical account of creation is a matter of fact in our history. This class, and indeed the entire school, is dedicated to helping others see that God is bigger than we think and better than we know. To get to the next video, make a note of the class number for this recording. Then search for the next one. Here's a sample. If this video is number L01.1, then the next one is L01.2. And remember to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow on Rumble.